Hey guys, welcome to my newest video for today, October 19th. Sorry about the very late delay in the video, because I had said that it could be up late afternoon, early evening because of the fire alarm testing. But yesterday when I rolled out of bed, I threw my fucking back out. So it actually hurts to stand. And I was so out of it because I had to wake up at frickin' 8 a.m. for this bullshit. And I just wasn't feeling it and the back pain. So that's why I'm sitting in my chair today doing the video. So this is everything I have watched from October 11th to the 17th. I did get to go see something in the movie theater, not anything new. So we will just get started. I think I just move everything a tiny bit more so you can actually, so you're not blinded by the DVD covers. But first off, before I start, my dad and I went shopping today, and I went to look at the movies at the White Rock Walmart that I talk about. It has a better section than mine. I could not believe it because I went on Amazon and it says this Blu-ray for, it doesn't come out till December 10th. I just bought the DVD, the Scream Factory DVD for Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 2 for $17.88. And I thought, this doesn't come out for a couple of weeks. I didn't realize it didn't come out till December 10th. So, is it going to be good? Probably not. But I was like, I can't wait till December. And I mean, hey, why the hell not? And it's a Scream Factory. So, yay, finally got that because I was like, I might as well just buy it instead of renting from the library and then get there and they're all scratched to rat shit. Okay, so so this is like I said, from October 11th to the 17th. So we will get started at 104. I watched Laid to Rest. Another one I don't hear too many people talk about. Number 105, The Devil Inside, which I know a lot of people don't like, and I actually don't know why, because I actually enjoyed this one. I do agree on the ending. The ending was kind of blah. So, 106, I watched Bride of Reanimator. See, I was doing it differently, because usually I wait till the 18th to watch Reanimator, but I was like, I want to change it up. And 107 was a first-time viewing that I rented off of Amazon Prime. Thank God it was a $3.99, because if I bought this, I think I would have been pissed off. And it is The Exorcism, the one that Russell Crowe did. Not to be confused with The Pope's Exorcist, which is a way better movie. But I was watching it, I'm like, this is boring as fuck. I gave it a 4 out of 10. I didn't care for it. And I was tempted to turn it off a couple of times. The only reason I didn't is because Russell Crowe was him and Niles from Frasier, David Hyde Pierce, there we go, were the only two good things about the movie. Everything else was shit. And it is kind of sad that it sucked. But you kind of knew it was. I found out afterwards that they filmed it in 2019 and it only came out this year. That's how bad they thought it was. And even the worst thing was the director of the film is the son of Jason Miller from the first Exorcist. I was like, oh my god. Yep, so that was a huge disappointment. I think even more disappointing than the barn was. So after that mess, and as some people know, I love Russell Crowe. He's one of my favorite actors, but even he couldn't save the movie. So after that mess, 108, I watched Army of Darkness. And then it's not added because I already started watching it. I finished off season 2 of Tales from the Crypt. Let's see if I can... Yeah, I can do that. Okay. So on October 12th, I watched the 2017 Halloween. Then I watched Malignant for 110. Cheaper to get the DVD than it was the Blu-ray, so. And then 111 I got to see in the theater, which was so much fun to watch because this was one of the films I wish I could have seen in the theater. But given the fact I had just turned 4, I don't think anybody was going to take a 4-year-old to see this particular movie, and that is the original 1984 classic of A Nightmare on Elm Street. Quite a few people were there too. So, but as I saw, a good number went to see Terrifier 3. I don't know if I'm going to go watch that. I haven't even watched Terrifier 2. So, and I came home and ended that night with The Shining at 112. And 113, I wasn't feeling good this day, so I only got 3 things watched. So for 113, I watched Halloween 2. Definitely not one I would... I don't, it's not one of my favorites, but I think, let's put it this way, I would watch this over Curse, Resurrection, and possibly Ends. I'm not the biggest fan of Ends, but if anybody else likes it, that's good on you. I know my friend Nick over at the Lost River Drive, and he loves the movie and will defend it. Good on him, but he also knows my feelings on it. But, I mean, hey, if we all had the same fucking opinion, we'd all be bloody boring, wouldn't we? And then at 114, I watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. I go back and forth between the first one and this one as my favorite of the franchise. But then again, the remake, the 2003 remake, is in my top 5 favorite remakes of all time. Then ended that night with Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. I actually got to see this in the theater back in 2019. I love it. Didn't grow up on the books, but flip my page over. Okay, so for 116, the first one for October 14th was The Vampire Lovers. And then I stayed with Vampires and Hammer for 117, and I watched The Horror of Dracula, which is my favorite of the Christopher Lee Hammer horror films, with Dracula AD 1972 being a close second. Then 118, from the Tim Burton set, I watched Beetlejuice. I actually looked up on the Crave on the TV up here in Canada, and unfortunately it's not listed for the second Beetlejuice, which would have been awesome. And then I ended that night off with finishing off season 1 of Stranger Things. I'm gonna put these down here. They've all fallen over. What else is new? So for October 15th at 119, I watched the remake of The Evil Dead. This is also in my top 5 favorite remakes of all time. I gotta make a list of that. And then for 120 was a first time viewing. Should have also said that the first time viewings were kind of weak in this one, with only one of them being good. This was not one of them. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't what I expected. And it's from this set, and I watched Countess Dracula with Ingrid Pitt, where she plays this Countess Elizabeth Bathory, which is a real person. I don't know too much about this character, but I mean, Ingrid Pitt, I mean, I'll watch her. So, but it was kind of boring. She was the only thing that kept me interested in the film. I gave this a 6.5 out of 10. And if anybody is wondering, I am keeping this. And at 121, I watched Beyond Reanimator, so another franchise finished. 122 was a first time viewing, and kind of funny that I finally watched this. It was a TV movie that they tried to make into a TV series that didn't work until 3 years later. This came out in 1989, and the show came out in 1992. And I didn't start watching this show till 2002, and it became one of my favorite shows of all time. That was a little show called Forever Knight, and the TV movie, ironically, is called Nick Knight, with Rick Springfield playing the character. I did like this. It had a certain charm. I think it's because it's an 80s movie, so you see all that 80s nostalgia. And this is what basically spawned Forever Knight. And I said on one of the Forever Night groups I'm a part of on Facebook that if I would have watched this when I started watching the show back in 2002, I think I would have hated it. So I'm glad I waited this 22 years. But yeah, I cannot pronounce his name, but he played Skanky in this. He played Skanky in the show, but we know him as the janitor from The Breakfast Club. So, yep, I did enjoy this. 7.5 out of 10. The best first time viewing I've watched this week. So I will be definitely will be keeping this. So, and then I ended that night 123 with the remake of Pet Sematary. I enjoyed this, but it definitely was not needed. So for October 16th, number 124, I just kind of went off there. I watched 100 Ghost Street, The Return of Richard Speck, one of the only Asylum films I actually really like. And then at number 125, the 2018 Halloween. Then 126, I watched my favorite George Romero zombie movie, Day of the Dead. And then 127, the first time I watched this, I think about 5 years ago, I absolutely hated it. Then I watched it again because I bought this set. I was like, yeah, it actually isn't bad. Some people may differ with me, but who cares? And for 127, I watched Subspecies from this set, and I will be watching the other 4 movies. So, and 128 was a first time viewing, and boy, was this boring. It was one of the big ones I wanted to see last year, last October in the theater, and I'm happy I didn't because I think I would have been pissed. So, 128 was The Exorcist Believer. I did not like what they did with the character of Chris McNeil. Like, I gave it a 5 out of 10 because I did feel bored by it, but not enough to turn it off. But, yeah, I did not care for it. I'm still going to keep it because I am a completist. I have the others. So I hope Mike Flanagan does a better job than, what's his name? David Gordon Green, which I was like, oh, the guy who did, even though I don't like Halloween Ends, I love the 2018 and Halloween Kills. So I thought he would do a good job, but I can say he did, but it was the writing and the story. I mean, there was a lot of shit. I was like, it's kind of the Halloween 3 effect. If they wouldn't have called this an Exorcist movie, I think it would have been good, but overall it wasn't. But I did love the cameo at the end of the movie. But yeah, that was a real disappointing. Like, I've stated, well, I haven't watched Saw 10 yet. That is, did I bring that one out? No, I didn't. That is on my to-watch list. I'm not revisiting the Saw franchise. I'm just going to that. But that, Exorcist, and Five Nights at Freddy's were the big 3 I wanted to see in the theater last year. So far, I've watched 2. We know what my feelings of Five Nights at Freddy's are. I loved it. And found out today they have made a sequel. It's coming out December 2025. A little too long, but I mean, it does take a long time to make a film. So, but yeah, Exorcist Believer, not a fan. If you want to watch it, go ahead, but don't expect too much. And after that mess, ended the night with The Tunnel, which is an Australian found footage film. If you haven't seen it, I so recommend it. That was 129. And this is everything I have watched on the 17th. Again, like, 2 of these movies I would watch every Halloween, and then I was switching it up. Again, this year, I'm switching it up. So, 130, it's one of my favorite anthology of all time. Trick or Treat, because I used to end my marathon with this movie, and then I was like, okay, this is getting a little stale, ending it on Halloween night. Same as with this. I would watch it Halloween evening or afternoon or whatever. Same deal. 131, I watched Hocus Pocus. 132, I watched on Disney Plus. I watched Hocus Pocus 2, which I actually really, really like. And then 133, don't know why it said 134, but 133, I haven't watched this in a couple of years, and I thought it was time to bring it out. The Frighteners, this is a Zavvi Steelbook, that's why I have it this way. this was my intro to Peter Jackson back in 1996. And then I ended the 17th with season 1, disc 1 of Tales from the Crypt, season 3. So yeah, guys, that's everything I've watched for week 4 of the marathon. Sorry about the late upload, but like I said, between the alarm testing and my back going out, like even now I feel a little bit better, but not enough to stand up and do the video. But yeah, some more duds in the first time viewing this week. But like I said, not getting rid of Exorcist Believer, not getting rid of Countess Dracula. But yeah, kind of a letdown, and I'm still mad at myself. I haven't gotten to Near Dark, so I'm either gonna get to it this week. I think one of these days I am gonna frickin' stay up all night and watch a lot of first time viewings. So yeah, guys, let me know what you think of these titles, which ones you like, which ones you don't like. We already know my feelings on the first time viewings. But I am so happy I got to see A Nightmare on Elm Street on in the theater. I was gonna go see Shaun of the Dead, but I thank God I didn't get a ticket, because I don't think I would have been able to sit in the movie theater for even an hour and a half. But my back better get better by next Saturday, because I've got my ticket for a certain movie playing in Vancouver. I'm not missing my chance to see this, because we know how much I love this movie. I'm not gonna say what it is until the final video of the marathon. So yeah, guys, that is it. Don't know what else to say, except bad first time viewing week, but hey, what can you do? So until my next video, guys, I hope you all have a good weekend, a great weekend, actually. Watch a shitload of movies, and of course, as always, like, comment, please subscribe, and I shall see you in the next video. Bye, guys.